Hey, I gotta show you these two women. It might be the same woman because the names are similar, but these comments showing how these two black women, or maybe it's just one woman, are house slave sellouts to their race and to families and root for the oppressive, crazy, corrupt family court system. This just shows how low IQ women usually are in general when they hate on me and make comments. And they have no self-awareness. This is great because this exposes and shows you guys the type of stuff that I'm dealing with all the time and that what's out there. But my biggest haters, who are some of the dumbest people in the world, love to highlight their comments, and all they're doing is saying, look at how dumb I am. So take a look at this. My most recent video, this lady came out and commented, and I think it might be the same one, but you get to see how homely she is and why she's as bitter as she is. And the other one, if that's the same lady in her voice, you get to hear how manly she sounds. You can tell how, roughneck and manly she is. But anyway, let's take a look at this and expose women for hating men and hating families and being sellouts. And in this particular case, being house slave sellouts against the black family. So here's the video I did on why do you agree to a protective order, and I talk about corruption with protective orders. And the vast majority of human beings know restraining orders are bullcrap. And actually, entire bar associations have written articles about how women lie about protection orders all the time. And then lawyers, judges, Harvard law professors admit to it. Just go look. I'll put a link below on YouTube. But go look, Google Divorce Corp false claims of child abuse, where they talk about how protection orders, domestic violence claims are used as leverage. There's a Harvard law professor in there saying that it's easy to lie about domestic violence. But let's look at the comments here. So here's the video where I talk about this.
So why would you agree to a domestic violence protection order?
Okay, so look at this. Look at these crazy comments. Let me zoom in on them. Look at this. So Trina 2361 says, that is actually not true. I don't know what she's talking about. She's a little too retarded to tell me what she's talking about. And just like the average person who's a passerby, you make a comment on something in a 10-minute video and nobody knows what the hell you're talking about. Get some second grade level English skills and say specifically what you're talking about. She says, it depends on your DV assessment and what level you came back at. The guardian ad litem ordered that because your assessment came back proving you're in fact an abuser. And then so her name is Trina 2361. And then there's Katrina Lee 2148. This is given major red flags. Dude, get off the internet. So this lady's a fascist. She's on her page doing videos about, that there's life on the moon and these conspiracy theories and stuff. And she sounds all rough. You can listen to her manly voice on there if you can tolerate that. But let's pick this apart a little bit. What she's saying, it depends on your DV assessment. So this Trina 2361 over my shoulder, she says that's actually not true. It depends on your DV assessment. If it's a total fact that women lie about domestic violence, what do the DV assessments go off of? They listen to the mother's allegations, and most of the time they are based upon what the mother alleged. Mother alleges this, mother alleges that. The father's in denial, so he's one of those deniers, just like an alcoholic who denies they're an alcoholic. You just assume if you deny domestic violence that you're in denial. So this lady is relying on the assessments, which are based on the lying mother, and then she assumes that domestic violence findings are always true. Now, in the video in the back, on her page, she has a whole bunch of stuff about atrocities against black people, which is uncontested. That's happened throughout this country. It's also uncontested that women lie about domestic violence all the time. And women commit at least 50% of it. And that's only the reported amount. It's probably closer to 80% with all my estimates, with all the guys who never report it, because it's a shameful thing to report a woman kicking you while you're driving, kicking you with her heels in the head. Like, guys just don't report that. And cops laugh at guys when they report it and stuff like that. So this lady who talks about atrocities against black people doesn't care that black men are lied on all the time about domestic violence. You know the guy in Ohio who got shot in his car in the back in front of his kids? I forget what his name was. It was a couple years ago when he was paralyzed and they were making a big deal about it being police brutality. The reason why the cops were called on him, because a woman who had a restraining order against him, he came over to her house and she called the cops. So she's the one, you call the cops and say there's a domestic violence incident, he did this and that. The cops are coming in hot and riled up and amped up. So she's the one who called the cops. She's the one who got the restraining order. And then he took his kids, maybe when it wasn't his day, and then he got tased a couple times. They don't show that on the news. Then he goes around the car, goes into the car, reaches for the glove compartment. All the women are screaming, don't do it, don't do it. So they're all saying he's about to shoot you. And then he got shot in the back. So, that being said, there's all kinds of cases like now. That might have been a legit DV case. Who knows? But this lady is saying that they're all legitimate. But the family court system, the DV restraining order system, the welfare system, the child support system, the welfare system in particular, black folks had 80% of families intact. 80% of kids grew up in a married black home up through the civil rights movement. They had better statistics on some years than white folks. So what did? They dangled government cheese to women. They had a campaign to push welfare on women, and they took it hook, line, and sinker because women would rather be strong and independent and raise a kid without the father because it's the curse of Eve to want to rule over the man and be strong and independent and not have to submit to a man, to his leadership or his protection. They'd rather have some Section 8 housing and government cheese than to work with the father and have a better life. This lady is sitting here saying that your DV assessment comes back, and then the guardian ad litem, who's another pathological, lying, hairy-legged lesbian who got molested by her dad and hates men, is reporting that you have DV issues. Guardian ad litem on my case, she tried to get me to sign a DV agreement in order to learn conflict resolution skills. She said, it's not what you think, it's just learn conflict resolution skills. And then I found out she had set up other men like that. And I said, screw you, I'm not signing off on that. And the court didn't adopt it. And the court didn't adopt her recommendation when I got the mother found in contempt. She didn't want her found in contempt. And then the next guardian ad litem said all kinds of stuff about me and stuff for the mother. And then all that stuff got thrown out. This lady is up here saying because of the DV assessment and because of a guardian ad litem, that's why guys get restraining orders. And that's why they agree to them. She's a pathological, lying, mentally ill weirdo. And if it's the lady who's the same, the other name on here, Trina Lee 2148, she's out there looking at the moon and proclaiming that there's proof there's life on the moon because she saw something fly by the moon. And there might be a plane up there. I don't know if there is or isn't, but she's sitting here saying that I got bad vibes, so I should get off the internet. And see, women like this who have no accountability, if they disagree with you, they want you eliminated. They want you eliminated from the family. They will kill you. They want you destroyed. They're like Scar in The Lion King. They want to dethrone the rightful king of the family and take over, and everybody's miserable. And every miserable, horrible statistic about broken families comes when the single custodial mother is in charge of the family. Not when the dad's in charge. Because when the dad has custody, he has the same outcomes as intact married families. Why? Because the leader and the protector is there. But this lady is actually a house slave, and so is this other Katrina, which probably is the same lady. Go listen to her manly, roughneck voice, and you'll realize why she probably hates men and thinks all men are abusers. She said, dude, get off the internet. So I'm supposed to get off the internet because I'm quoting black women judges, black women lawyers, black women investigators, and many other people who have written and documented how women lie about domestic violence all the time. Now, maybe she's a domestic violence victim, and usually a victim of rape, molestation, or domestic violence, and usually that's at the hand of the mother's new boyfriend. The vast majority of child molesters are the stepdad. If you're mad at your stepdad beating you up or beating your mom up, that's your mom's fault for bringing him into your life. Stupid little 304 sellout Stephen, Auntie Ruckus, Auntie Stephen, sellout little house slave. All this stuff, she's sitting here talking about all this travesties against black folks. She's rooting for the white supremacist agenda of the welfare system, the domestic violence. The Violence Against Women Act bill was written by Joe Biden, who wrote the crime bill, which we all know is a racist institutional, the prison industrial complex was bolstered, and the 3 strikes and you're out, and black people were mass incarcerated because of Joe Biden's Violence Against Women Act, or his crime bill, the same year of the 1994 Violence Against Women Act, which empowered women to go and lie and push black dads out of kids' families. This is the #1 creator of absent fathers in any community, but especially the black community, black women. and she's a house slave, and she proves it. Just look at her comments.